Okay, everyone, good afternoon with the the FX Daily Wrap-Up. Sorry for the delay. Had some internet connectivity issues, and I actually had to go in and log in with my alternate internet provider. So bear with me one moment. One of the guys shared in the chat room that news did. White House gathers reporters for unscheduled event. The White House has gathered reporters in the Rose Garden for an unscheduled event. No details about what we're about to see, but it seems like we're to hear from POTUS shortly. Stand by. So just wanted to go in and share that quickly with you. And of course, at the time, right then my internet service decides to go in and go down. But I have a backup because I've learned my lesson. So we're back online with the backup. I'm not sure what's going on with Google Fiber, but I know that I know earlier today I noticed that FT71, he was saying that he was having problems in the Chicago area with his Google Fiber, so fiber issue. So it looks like it. I know that that comes around from time to time, but fortunately I've got a backup. So where are we right now? Bear with me. Bear with me. Hang on. Hang on, try to get, fortunately I didn't have any positions on at the time. Oh, stop, it's okay. One moment. Okay, and so just wanted, there was just someone was making, Amanda was making a note in the chat room, so I just need to go in and just notate. I wasn't sure what questions she may have been posing. But anyway, that being said, looking here at the euro, and we're actually a pretty key area here with the euro. Once again, like I said, if you are a member with ForexAnalytix, we have our webinar in the morning. And 3 a.m. in the morning, but it is recorded and made available about an hour, hour and a half before the New York group. And we lay out our bias chart resistance and support levels. But one of the things we did note coming into the week as we came in was that 10.05, and we mentioned that from 2 weeks back, is an important level. If we lose 10.05 on the close, daily close, it opens the door potentially for a move to 896, but the initial support will be 957. So important that we maintain 10.05 on the close. It really, you know, when we were here, when we were making a move previously, it would have shaken out a lot of bulls and turned things around. Well, I think some of those bulls have already been shaken out. So I think if we close below 10.05, we would make it down to 957. Now, how much more additional follow-through we'll have to see. We're in a slow week with Thanksgiving, but we did go and see a nice little turnaround, at least initially. Bear with me one moment. You can see here on the 2-hour chart, really nice action. It looked like maybe we might have something here. So we go in and have this little mini hammer here after, you know, pretty decent move down. And then on the 2-hour bar, we take out the lows. Okay, and that's after we close at the top of this bar. We come down, take out the lows, and turn around and reverse to much higher. And it looked like, hey, you know what? We might be on our way. But then we've since slipped back. And like I said, if we get a close below 10.05, that is not good from a technical standpoint and really puts the bears in full control. Although we've already knocked off a lot of bulls towards the end of the week. So, but it opens the door technically to a move to 896. And initial test would be 957. So there we stand here. Now, looking inversely to that would be the dollar index. And the reason I say inversely, for those that haven't heard me go off and on again about that, is that the euro comprises 56.4% of the cash dollar index. So obviously it has a great influence. They both trade most of the time inversely. Now, the minor resistance that has been previously in the dollar index, we had as 98.41, but like I said, the key level is 98.65. If we get a daily close above 98.65, bulls will be now in full control. First stop would be 99.13. First stop, 99.13 in there. We have seen cable kind of turn around a bit. Now we're kind of weakening here. We actually were looking for lower prices. If you look at the close from Friday and the start of analysis for the week, but we had Boris Johnson come in with his comments and looking to try and get that Brexit thing done before the end of the year. So that put a bullish tone here, and cable, which had been holding up okay, actually turned around and looked like it might be looking like we could potentially slip. And you can see here, as we closed out on Friday, I had it on a 2-hour chart, so I was wondering why it didn't look like it made a lot of sense. But we've been pressing up against that 29.80, and we started to weaken, and we weakened decently on Friday. Looked like we might see some follow-through, but obviously with Boris Johnson's positive comments, turn things around. Resistance we had is 28.85. Obviously, we actually got a little bit above that, but I was noting in the chat room on a 2-hour close, we would need a 2-hour close above 29.28 to put the bears in some concern. I think Amanda actually shorted pretty close to these highs up in here, but once again, like I said, you would need a daily. Need a close on a 2-hour above 29.28, and that'd be right in here to actually get the bears concerned. So we've actually dipped back. I think she was short. She had a short around here, so she's doing all right there. Looking here with dollar CAD. Let's go and take a quick look here. A moment. I don't know what's going on here. This is really annoying. I think I'm not even joking. I've said it before. I think if a dog gets run over, they send the sirens going. I mean, I can see if we were living near a hospital or something like that, we're not. So honestly, I think we live in a municipality, and I think, like I said, if 2 bicycles hit on the street, they probably send the fire trucks and the police car. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I get tired of listening to those sirens all the time. It can't be telling me that there's these many accidents. Like I said, probably 2 bicycles running into each other. Don't mean to go up, but I mean, this gets old after a while. Like I said, I can see if we were near a hospital, well, what do you expect? But we're not. So, but anyway, that being said, like, get off my tangent. But anyway, getting back here to the dollar CAD. So we had reached the short term. Let me flip it in here. We had reached our short-term target, which was from the prior week, which was 33.03. As we started into the previous week, was this last week, we had our target set up for 33.03. We did reach that, and then we actually got up here almost to this 33.36. Well, that's going to be today's bias chart. Now, since we're still holding here, we're looking for a move to 33.36 with the potential up here to 33.82. It still remains bullish, so that's where we stand right here. I don't even have the bias chart up right now. Like I said, I had these internet problems literally moments, like about 4 minutes before we were supposed to come on air, and had to reset to the other alternate internet provider. Let's see here. Take a look at here. Indices obviously have moved higher. Let me take a look here on the indices. I did post a chart that 31.27 looked like a nice area here. We did get, let me see. Okay, so far nothing here. But anyway, I was listening to the comments coming off the squawk. But anyway, that being said, we were talking about, I had posted a chart on Twitter and obviously in the chat room on the S&Ps. We had a nice confluence there around 31.27. The market actually stopped there for a little bit momentarily, kind of dipped back, reassert ourselves, and we've actually pressed up here above 31.30. But the market's holding steady now. I always like to look at the NASDAQ at the same time, basically for a confirmation, non-confirmation. And when we got up to 31.27, we had taken some shorts, a couple of scalp shorts, and we dipped back as the NAS was having trouble with a key resistance level 83.60. Well, now we're above 83.60, and we're actually holding above it as they try and dip back. So everything's just kind of sitting there, and the SPUs, if you look at this thing on a 30-minute, and actually I'm looking on the futures, but this is the cash. Let's take a look here. it's still in a decision area. Let's take a look. We got the same setup as in the futures. Yeah, basically the same thing. So you can see here, we got a gravestone doji here, which allowed us to move and scalp down a little bit also on that one. Then we came back, and I was noting in the chat room, we got some support at 31.26.25. Looks like, well, actually on the futures, they ended up holding that area. In the cash, is looking down here, but I think the low in the futures might have been 31.2650. But anyway, you can see we got a little bit of a hammer, mini hammer on a very, very short-term basis, and we're just kind of sitting here. Now, here's the key thing, though, is that if you look at this on a 2-hour, hey, we got a solid 2-hour close here. So, yeah, you're not trying to necessarily short this thing because you have to respect those technicals. So you can see here, look here in this area, right? You see there? We close above that, solid close. So, you know, yeah, you could scalp it. I mean, I took a couple of scalps, actually 3 scalps, but I mean, you could take a couple of scalps, you know, looking on a 5-minute, run into some key areas. You can catch yourself, you know, half point, point and a half, really depending on where you came in, even a little bit, maybe a little bit better. But that being said, you have to respect that from a 2-hour time frame, we are above that key level right there. You can see as they came up, and you can see here, we're looking at 2-hour chart, look, right above that, we close above that 31.23. So now this is on the cash, but I'm just saying is as long as we got that close, you had above that on the 2-hour, you have to respect it on the long side, know that the door is still open for them to move higher. But that's what we have on this. Gold has been weakened, obviously. Here's the key thing on gold. I haven't done anything lately with gold, although we were taking a scalp around that 1475-ish area here. But that was like about the week before, not even last week, but the week before that. But that at the time, it was like a 38%, I believe, at the time. But here's the deal, is when the spruce came up to, fell down all the way down to 31.90, which was a key area, that whole 93.90 area here in the spruce, I thought for sure we would have at least gone up to 1482, at least 1482, if not 1485. So this was a disappointment that they were only able to move up $3, and you can see here what the result is. Now, I don't like to hold, I don't rarely ever hold positions overnight. So obviously, I mean, you could come in and scalp and day trade this thing, but this was not a bad deal on the coming on the way back up. You had some good risk right there. You see here, you would had to close above that area. We actually ran out of gas just right before that. You see here, and we worked lower. And for those that were going to hang on, it makes sense now that as we make new highs in SPOOs, why we're under quite a bit of pressure here in the gold market. Crude oil, it's just doing its own little thing. I mean, it's just up and down, up and down. You know, it's been like I said, it's a one-way street on the way up and a one-way street on the way down, and until we start to act a little bit more, I don't want to call it normal or whatever, but like I said, and it's been a mixed bag in here, because right when it looked like we were in the middle of Cairo, we turn around and fall apart. Then we turn around and one-way street on the way up. Then the next day, and that's fine, but then the next day you turn around and reverse everything, and then and go and head that way towards the closing. Okay, well, fine. It was a fake out. But then the next day you turn around and see it reverse all the way back up, and then back and forth, up and down, up and down. I showed that before on the daily. So I've just left this market alone until we can return back to whether you want to call it normalcy or whatever the case may be. Getting back to FX. Hold on. The thing is in the way. There we go. So we're seeing this, the euro right here, 10.07. Like I said, a close below 10.05 is not good at all. Dollar peso, we have resistance. I believe we had a resistance today at 19.46, I believe. Once again, I don't have the bias chart up because, like I said, had to try and get everything all reset back up. Dollar yen still up here on the bid here, 8.96. Well, it makes sense. Well, our bias chart resistance is 109 because the SPOOs are up there. But really, like I said, when you look at the SPOOs and where the SPOOs are, dollar yen you would think would be at around 111, and they're not. So the dollar yen continues to, ignore it and sets up a potential for a nice short. We've already had some nice dips, although I was very surprised last week when the SPOOs went down to 30.90 or 30.93 that we did not see the dollar yen go sub 108. So that was a little bit of concern. But resistance today is 109, and obviously we know about the key 0927. We've gone over that multiple times. We'll go back. And we'll finish with that. So there's that 927. And like I said, that thing has been around for some time. Look at that. You can see the significance of 927. It's been key on the upside here to the downside. We broke past it to open the door for even lower. Same thing here. We struggled, made a move to the upside. We're looking for a move back down to 927. I haven't done anything in the dollar yen for quite a while, but that being said, like I said, we still remain on the bid on here for right now. But once again, you would think we'd be a whole lot higher in light of where equities are. But that's all we have for today. Thanks for joining us here on the FX Daily Roundup. We'll see you tomorrow. Good luck trading in a very quiet session.